The Golden Bachelorette is down to its final two men, and is it obvious who she's going to pick? I kind of think it is, but I want to say this preview is going to be a pretty short one. I actually almost didn't even put out a video for this, except for one part of this preview that I think is really worth mentioning. Something that could potentially give away the entire ending of this season. But again, the footage that's actually from the main portion of the show is actually only about a third of this preview, and the rest is all the men tell-all. That being said though, the footage that's from the men tell-all is actually from the men tell-all, and not just clips from the season that they usually do. So, let's take a look at this thing, and as always, please, no posting any outright spoilers in the comment section below unless you can back it up with sleuthing, and a link to the full preview is in the description.
Coming up.
Will anybody love me? Is how I feel now. It just makes me feel like I'm unlovable.
Can Joan recover?
This feels so mean.
So it looks like next up for the show is the fallout from the Pascal breakup, where Pascal said he couldn't get to that love place with Joan, and now she's feeling unlovable. I'm sure that won't last once Guy and Chalk get their next dates going, but yes, Jesse Palmer, I'm thinking Joan will recover, and this drama will probably be something they touch on and maybe show the footage of during the men tell-all. You know, the perfect transition into a sit-down hot seat segment with Pascal. They've been tending to mix in some finale footage into the tell-alls lately, which I find helps the tell-alls feel less drawn out and less likely to be stuffed with gimmick bits and product placements. Plus, we don't really need a full hour and a half of the Golden Guys tell-all because there wasn't a lot of drama this season to hash out. Just give us our favorites, a few life updates and questions, and then some finale footage and get us to bed at a good hour. But alright, let's now take a look at the footage I was talking about earlier.
This feels so mean. I'm so sorry.
Will she find love again?
It's not what I was expecting at all.
Or more heartbreak?
There's a big problem. What do you do when you're in this situation? I don't know.
This is the last thing I wanted.
Okay, so this is actually where the finale footage ends for this preview. What follows is the men tell-all, with actual footage from the upcoming tell-all, which they don't normally do. But back here, I'm not sure what they're trying to tease with this Joan walking on the beach saying this is the last thing I wanted moment. Is it a rejection angle? Something breaking up the final rose ceremony because the outfit she's wearing here is from the very end? Well, I don't think that's going to be the case because we've seen her in previous previews looking happy and hopeful at this final rose ceremony, and I think happy and hopeful is more likely how things will end up. But this last segment, it's all just a real hodgepodge of dramatic statements and music. However, amongst this, I think if we really pay attention, there's actually something of significance to grab hold of. And it all has to do with a couple of these shots of Guy. So here we get a quick moment with Guy and Joan hugging, and there are three things I want to focus on. One is the mood. I know it's just a snippet of a scene, but the vibe I'm feeling isn't happy to see you, let's enjoy a date today. It seems kind of somber. Then 2, note that we're inside a hotel room. And 3, take a look at both of their outfits. Now let's jump to this shot. Joan and Guy in the same outfits, and again, I'm getting a more somber vibe than a cuddly vibe. But also, we see that Joan is holding an umbrella, one that we've seen before in the previews. Take a look at this bit of footage from the Night 1 season preview shown right after the Golden Bachelor Gary tease.
Have you considered the possibility that your guy is not here?
So Joan in this moment is walking up to someone's room, and in the lexicon of classic Bachelor moments, this kind of footage is so often a lead up to the Bachelor or Bachelorette coming in to break things off with someone. Someone that now we know would be Guy. And with Joan seemingly so much more into Chalk, and having said she already feels like Guy's feelings are further ahead than hers, I could easily see Joan not wanting to string Guy along more than she needs to, and ending things here. Now, in comparison, there's also this moment with Chalk, where we see him looking back at Joan in a typical this is the last time they'll see each other before the final rose ceremony moment. And their outfits here look like a match for this shot. Another maybe somber hug. However, here I feel things are much more explainable as something that's not actually dramatic. At least compared to this moment with Guy, where I can't shake the feeling that this is just the end of their relationship. I guess we'll see, but the narrative of the season seen so far, what Joan has said, and the connections up to this point match the idea that Guy, while super all in on Joan, just isn't who Joan wants to be with. And Chalk is. She'll break up with Guy, maybe sooner than she planned after the Pascal stuff hammers home the need to not string things along, and Chalk will get to propose to Joan like he said he would with Jesse Palmer last episode.
How does this thing end?
Oh, hopefully an engagement.
Yeah?
It's either going to be an engagement or I'm going to get my heart broken.
So while this wasn't a lot of footage, I still think we might have gotten some important insight into what to expect for the finale. But alright, we won't deep dive too much for the rest of this preview as it's a look at the upcoming tell-all, but let's see what we've got.
But first,
Welcome to the Golden Bachelorette, the Men Tell All!
all your favorites are there.
I love these guys. They're friends for life.
I'd like to have not said nothing, but that's not my kind of thing.
So yes, this is going to be the sweetest, least dramatic Men Tell-All ever. All the Charles fanatics are going to be there, as they should, and he's getting a hot seat segment to boot.
I just started bawling. It meant so much to me.
It's a men tell all like you've never seen before.
Hey, Charles, my mom is single.
Oh yeah, Charles, you get some from that mom of the audience plant who just happened to be mic'd up in this moment. But we've also got Jesse Palmer with the pitch pipe where I know he's priming Captain Kim for a song, and I see Joan's hair in the corner there, so I know they're gonna be singing that song for her. Also looks like the Bachelor Dancing with the Star Joey's going to be showing up, and Jonathan's getting a hot seat segment too. And wow, this is the most dressed up I've ever seen Jonathan. And I mean that literally. He's usually showing off that chest as much as he can, so the ascot is a surprise.
Plus, the Golden Bachelorette herself, Joan. And Pascal.
I pictured a life with you.
Find out what happens next week on the Golden Bachelorette.
And of course, things end with Pascal's hot seat segment and a sit down with Joan that, if the preview is to be believed, is gonna be a tearjerker. But nah, I gotta imagine these two are quite amicable and friendly. Even though things ended not quite the way Joan had envisioned with Pascal, I really doubt Joan was going to pick him. If what she said at Hometowns was any indication, he was probably the next to go anyway. And I mean, I doubt things went poorly in the sit down because Pascal seems comfortable enough in their friendship to go as Joan for Halloween, which is just très belle, mon chéri.
Oui. Très good, très wonderful.
Great.
So that's it for this preview breakdown for week 8 of the Golden Bachelorette and the Men Tell-All. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel for more content. And until next time, Bachelor Fantake out.
Hey, Charles, my mom is single.
Oui. Très good, très wonderful.